Hey everybody, welcome to Do You Believe on Paranormal Zone TV. So nice to see everybody tonight. I've had a little vacation, came back from Las Vegas. I've been there twice this month. It's an awesome place to go. So anyway, welcome back everybody. I have an awesome show tonight. Also, please, if you would all please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's the page, that's what it looks like, and all you have to do is hit the little subscribe button on the side. I'd really appreciate it. So tonight, everybody, my guest is Richard Ruland, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. I found out that he wrote an article on the Haunted Hales Bar Dam, and I didn't know anything about this dam. And so tonight, Richard is going to tell us all about it. It's a cursed dam, and I'm really excited to have him tell the story. But before we start, we're going to welcome Richard to the show. Welcome, Richard, to the show.
Hey, Noreen, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Richard, I'm going to show the picture with you and the article that you wrote on, and it's available. It's called Amazing Paranormal Encounters. It's in a volume 3. And
yes.
This can be purchased on Amazon. Tell me about this article that you wrote.
It's really an interesting thing. It's a chapter. Each team or each team leader got to write a chapter in the book. And she's compiled, I guess it was about 7 or 8 different authors to write a particular chapter about any particular hunt or haunt that you've done that the reader would find interesting. And I know that the building Hales Bar Dam has been on 2 different television shows in the past 9 years. But it's been on 2. But a lot of people still didn't know a whole lot about it. My encounter there is what I wrote about in the book. We've been there about 13 times in the past 9 years. And I've got some pretty major evidence that we've collected from that site as well. But the book was written just about my particular experience there, just over one night in that place.
One night?
Oh, yeah. It was a crazy night. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy night.
It's that haunted?
Well, what's funny is, for those who probably know a lot about it, is water acts as a really good conducer for paranormal energy. And that place it was a hydroelectric dam. It's surrounded by water. There's water that still runs through the turbines of the dam now that actually creates a natural whirlpool in the powerhouse area. So, when you have that, plus it was also part of the Sycamore Shoals Treaty in 1775, which at the time, the Cherokee actually owned that land and managed that land. So the land had a lot of, Cherokee history to it. The settlers in that area had a very bad flu epidemic come in 1929, killed a lot of elderly people and kids. And that's why even at times you'll hear children. I've got several EVPs, I think you even have a few of those tonight, that you actually will hear kids. Mm-hmm. And what it is that dam is such a small community in Guild, Tennessee, that the children literally had to walk through the dam's interior past the turbines to get to the other side of the river to go to school. Mm. And behind the dam, as your picture showed in the beginning of the show, those headstones in low water times, which is during the winter time, at low water, you can literally walk on the graves that were left there. Where the TVA didn't remove them when they took over the dam, they didn't move the graves or, of course, the people that are buried there. They left them there, and they flooded the place with water. And the majority of them are those flu victims from 1929.
Wow.
So there's a lot, and when the place was privately held, back when it was first made, and it shut down, there was a riot between the employees because they're all losing their jobs. And this is back at the time when nobody had mass transit, of course. So getting to Chattanooga was, 19 miles to the southeast and hard to get to. So there was a fighting going on. There was actually somebody shot in that building. There's been plenty of stabbings in that building over the riots. And there's just so much negative energy, as well as positive energy. There's some positive things in there, but there's a lot of negative energy, in which I also believe there is one demon on that second floor of that building.
Why do you say it's a demon?
I have been doing this a long time. I've been doing it a little over 10 years as an organized team leader. I have been in the midst of a demonic possession of a building, and it's like nothing that you've ever experienced in your life. You walk into this area, and it's like somebody withdrew the energy, the light, the air doesn't move. It's absolutely a void of energy. And you can feel the oppression, the negative oppression there. And it's not like he wants to hurt you. It's just he owns that space, and you can feel it, and it's terrorizing. I've been scratched, I've been shoved, I've had my hair pulled, I've been hit with objects, things that have been thrown and shot at me, and I've been yelled to get out and told to go to hell and everything else. But that encounter is one of only two that I can say I've actually encountered that I believe to be demonic. And I'm a psychic medium who's also clairaudient. I can feel that to the core of my being when I went up there.
This dam was also featured on Ghost Hunters, which I didn't know, and Ghost Adventures. So by now it's pretty widely known, this location.
It is, and one I think honestly did a better coverage job on the hunt than the other. There were a lot of things about the dam that have gotten covered pretty well, and there's a lot that hasn't even been touched. There's a lot of history in that place, and the encounters in that place that the TV shows didn't go to in the building. They either avoided it or they omitted it from the show. But there are locations in that building way that are hyperactive with paranormal activity, and nobody went there. So there's a lot more to uncover.
Now, what about so I read up a little bit about it as well. And so according to legend, the area and the water was sacred to this chief dragging canoe.
Yeah. Chief Dragging Canoe is one of a few of the Cherokee Indian chiefs that were part of the Sycamore Shoals Treaty. When he signed the land over to the white man, Chief Dragging Canoe cursed the land. And he said, if any white man were to settle on this land, there'd be blood. Wow. And what's really interesting about the dam is that from day one, there were failures, there were leaks, people died building it. The curse kind of seems legit if we look into it deep enough. And Chief Dragging Canoe was a very prominent Indian chief at that time. And he did lay that curse on the land. What's interesting about that building is that exact same building style, hydroelectric dam, was built in Russia. They have a sister dam in Russia, the same exact dam. Never had a leak in its entire career. Never had any of the darkness spilled over it as this land has. That dam is still operational in Russia, and it was built in 1911.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I also understand that hold on for a second, that bad luck and strife follows the region.
Yeah, it goes back to the dam, because the dam had everybody who lived in that town employed there. And when the dam shut down the first time and was sold a year or so later after it was closed, it was sold to the TV. So people lost their jobs. People lost their homes. Then the TV had come in and operated it again, but employed only a few or a small percentage of the people that were there. But people that have worked at the dam during the time I've known it and its existence, people who worked in the dam as managers of the property, teams that actually have led tours and stuff in that property, have all had personal issues in their life. And I believe it has a lot to do with that dam and its curse.
What kind of a curse did he put on it?
Again, just as if any white man were to settle on this land, there'd be bloodshed. And then he built the dam.
And then what I also read too, that several workers during the construction of the dam were said to have fallen to their death in the fresh cement.
Yeah, that is a true story. That is a legend that it holds to be true. That while they were pouring the cement, many of these, because these walls are about, I'd probably say about 18 to 24 inches thick of cement, and they go all the way down into the muck and mire and go all the way up about 3 stories. And there were 2 that I've heard of that while the foundations and all that were being poured, got trapped into it and they died. And that's part of the legend. I think Ghost Adventures Crew actually covered that pretty well on their trip there in the powerhouse, because that's where it happened. Was the 2 lives were lost in the powerhouse in the cement.
So what kind of hauntings are coming out of all these investigations? Because I understand it's quite a hotbed of paranormal activity and drawing investigators from all over. So what is the outcome? Who is haunting? Who are haunting this location?
There is so much there. And it's not just the dam. Before the dam was even built, the Cherokee also haunt that place. I've gotten a few pieces of evidence showing Cherokee haunting in there as well. There, back before it was built, it was pretty heavily run over by the KKK. This came out in an audio session with a medium that I had at the time I was working with, and he actually has audio. We have audio confirming that. There's part of our web series that we did on the dam that's on YouTube. He has EVPs telling him basically, shh, don't talk about don't talk about it, because he was talking about the KKK. And, there's that. There is, racial issues. There was a black man that was killed there by white people. So it's really, there's a lot. There's at least 2 girls that I know of that are there. Their spirits are there. I've got them on recording. One's a teenager and one's a younger girl. I've been scratched in that place. There's a couple of real negative energies in there that aren't demonic, but they're negative. My wife's been pushed in that place. She's had physical manipulation with her skin, somebody touching and pulling her hair. Like I said, I've been scratched. 2 or 3 team members in my team have been made to be nauseous and sick over the EMF energy they're pushing out. And then you have some that are even asking for help. It's a real smorgasbord of paranormal activity. It's every genre of paranormal activity you can face is in that building. Good, bad, and ugly. Good, bad, and ugly. I was actually on that show the Ghost Adventures Crew did on the show called Aftershocks, which is where they go back and they visit with the people that have gone in there since they were there. And I was on that show, aired in June, for Hales Bar Dam, and that was a conversation Zach and I had, was that people understand that if any one place shows a definite good versus evil, it's this place. It's a spiritual warfare building. It's amazing.
Well, it's evil because of the curse that the chief put on that land, don't you think?
It has a lot to do with that. It has a lot to do, too, with the personalities of those that have died that are there. I've been doing this a long time, and what I've run into is basically if you were a jerk in life, you're personified in death. If you have the ability to scare people, if you have the ability to get their attention, make them upset, you're going to do it. And I've come in encounter with people who are power-hungry mongers in that building. Some that if you don't do what they tell you to do, they'll scratch you, or they'll push you to try to show you that they're in charge. But then, like I said, then you have the kids that are in that building too. So the curse has a lot to do with it, and I think there's negative energy that's built up in there, I think honestly since the dawn of time. I I believe there is so much negative energy in that building that has been there before even the Sycamore Strolls Treaty was even brought up, that has been manifested by that curse and has now festered into what it is now.
Now, your contact, the EVPs that you sent me, they all seem to be of young children. Is that who you mostly were able to communicate with, are children?
Well, the thing of it is there's one on there that you've got that says "Don't go away."
Uh-huh.
You'll play that later, hopefully. That's actually not a little girl. That's our little demon friend. He's a low-powered demon, but he likes to mimic, and he'll do it to get you to stay there so he can sap you dry of your energy. And he was so loud in that EVP, what you hear was disembodied.
Well, you want me to play it?
Well, sure, yeah, go ahead.
All right,
we'll talk about it, why not?
All right, so I'm going to play an EVP that Richard gave to me, and it's only like a couple of seconds long, and I can play it twice. So here it goes, everybody. Hold on. And it's "Don't Go Away."
Right.
Something's going to show up.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Okay. So did everybody hear that? It was only a couple of seconds long. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear it on my end, no.
Well, you wouldn't unless you had YouTube on.
Yeah. So, I know what it is. I've heard it a million times. What's funny is that we were filming our web series there at that time, and we were on the second floor, and I could feel the energy shift. I could feel the energy started getting negative. It started getting really heavy. And I even, in the beginning of the EVP, you hear me say to one of the investigators, "Man, I feel like something's about to happen." And no sooner did I say that, it's maybe 6 seconds, and then you hear the little girl's voice. Well, I think you hear me react, I went, "Whoa." And the thing of it is that it's different if it's an EVP, but even though we listen to EVPs and our recorders live, so we're listening to them with earbuds as everything is being recorded. So if I would have heard that as an EVP, I would have reacted that way. But that wasn't even an EVP. That was a disembodied voice that loud. And that's what was amazing about it and so dramatic. I've never had I shouldn't say never had. I've rarely ever had an earthbound spirit has that kind of power to project, ever. And this thing just, it just came on out there and said, "Here I am," and it was pretty awe-inspiring, I'll tell you.
Well, I tell you, it's really nice to hear. I love EVPs from a digital voice recorder. That is my favorite, or even off of a video recording.
Right.
I love those. It's far cry from ghost box sessions and stuff like that. I really, this is my favorite.
Well, we do a lot of this. I mean, we just started getting into you're talking about the ITC world.
Yeah.
We just started getting into a little bit of that because we've had some really great success with one particular piece of software. And we do use that mostly because of our show, so people can hear it immediately. So if something does come across as relevant, which is what we try to pose our EVP questions for, that is relevance. That's a little more, that'll make you stand back a little bit.
Yeah.
And that is how we do our EVPs now, besides listening to them on digital recorder. Because we run live EVPs the entire time we're there. Yeah. We don't stop. The recorder never gets turned off.
I love it. All right, so why don't we play the next one then? And this one is entitled "Courage." Do you want to explain this one?
Yeah, this is a part of the building where no one ever seemed to go on TV, and it's right below the AC system in the building. And we had some pretty decent little experiences, a couple of visual, personal experiences that happened as well. And we were really just, we were concerned about going upstairs to the AC unit only because there's asbestos up there. And I was talking with a couple of people, and we were all just conversating. And then after I say, yeah, I've got some concerns about going out there, and then you hear this gentleman just go, courage.
Okay. All right.
And
So that's great. And again, it's a couple of seconds. So listen, guys. All right. I'm going to play it right now.
Everything I'm reading is just a little large. I think Mark's got in mind. Everything I'm reading is just a little large. I think Mark's got in mind.
Okay. Did you guys all hear that? Okay. So it's a 30-second delay. I can play it again if they didn't hear it, but I'm sure they did.
Right.
Okay, so let's see. They're listening to it now. What did it say? Caroline, it said courage. Clear as a bell. Okay, thanks. All right, not so clear. Okay, but they heard the whisper. Okay. Hey, everybody, thanks for being here. All right, so the next one, let's see. How about, and this one was Let Me Out.
Ooh. Yeah, Let Me Out. That is, it's a residual, an EVP of a residual part of the haunt. Little girl again. I don't know what trauma this little girl has been through in her life, or now in her, and now in her post life and her death. But it had to be pretty traumatic. And she seems like she's a trapped spirit entity, and it's kind of hard to listen to that without being a parent or a grandparent and not cringe a little bit. This was a static recorder. We set up in the tunnels of the building wing, and then we went to another building to go ahead and investigate. So we left it static, and we caught this EVP. It actually, she says it a couple of times, and it's actually louder at the end.
Okay. All right. So this is Let Me Out. Here we go. Okay. It's a 30-second delay, Richard.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they heard that. That one was a little bit longer. That was 17 seconds.
Yeah, that's because she sent it 3 times.
Oh, she did?
She's just repeating herself, or she's telling somebody to let me out.
Oh my gosh! Now did you play that recording the same time you were there, or not until you got home?
I didn't know that until we got home. We had so much. We usually use 4 digital recorders on that particular investigation when we filmed our show. That one was static down there in the tunnels. We had one static in the 3rd floor of the actual powerhouse, and we had another static on the 2nd floor in a hallway. And that came as one of the statics that we had. Plus, each investigator had their own digital recorder on their arm with earbuds in. There was a lot of audio to go through. So I didn't hear that until after we were already home. And again, as a father, it disturbed me. And the other ones you're about to play as well disturb me as much because I'm a dad.
So when you went back, okay, so you investigated this place quite a few times. So when you went back, were you able to reconnect with these spirits?
With a couple of them, yeah, with a couple of them. Like I said, she's residual. As far as the energy, we've encountered her several times, and she's residual. We've got a gentleman in the tunnelway that follows us, and there's the time that I asked him, "Do you remember me?" And I've got a very loud yes. There's a guy that's in the powerhouse. I don't know if people remember the show from Ghost Adventures Crew when they filmed it, but the place where Aaron got his shirt tugged up in a locker room on a thermal camera, there's a gentleman gentleman up there that's not really happy with people at all. He really doesn't like people. And he remembers me because, I said to him at one point, I said, well, why are you not screwing with me? You were screwing my people down below. And he's like, I'm going to screw with you. I'm going to screw with you. So, there are several that I remember, and there's actually still some. If you ask them in the tunnelway about Zach, they actually will tell you, what they feel about that.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
we won't go there.
we will leave that one alone.
All right. So the next EVP, it's called Go Deeper. So explain this one.
Yeah, this one again, it's going to be a male voice you'll hear. First, you'll hear my wife. We were in the tunnels. This is the guy that actually has been caught on camera before as a shadow figure. He was just, we were trying to figure out where to go next. It was one of our first times there, and we were trying to figure out where to go next. And we were at the beginning of the tunnelway. And if you go straight, the tunnel would go another 75 yards straight ahead, and then there's another tunnel to the right of that about 50 yards in, which goes in another 35, 40 yards. And we were just talking about, where to go next and things to do, and then you just hear this man say, go deeper.
Mm.
It was a really ominous voice that my wife got to hear in her recorder.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys, this EVP is called Go Deeper. Here we go. Oh, did it play already?
Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's just a short EVP, about 4 or 5 seconds long.
All right, hold on. Let me play it again. Oh, you know what? It's not.
Did it not work out?
No, it's not showing anything. Hold on for a minute.
Okay.
Did anybody hear that one? I can try and put it back in. Yeah, they did. Somebody heard that. I didn't see it. One must have been played really fast.
It's about 5 seconds long. It's not a very long clip. I try not to bore the listener too long.
Yeah, okay.
I listened to some EVP clips and they're about 2 minutes long. I'm like, why? Why?
Okay.
But yeah, because we have a lot of EVPs. I mean, that place when we've been almost every time we've been there, on average, no word of lie, no BS. We probably will walk away with about 20 to 25 EVPs.
Oh God.
And we'll probably walk away with about 2 or 3 disembodied voices, just in the audio portion alone. We're the only team that I know of, and there's been others out there that are listening. Please step up, let me know. I'd be interested to hear about it. But we're the only team I know of that has got a full-bodied apparition, white shadowed apparition coming out of the wall in the hallway in our show there.
Wow.
Yeah, he comes out. We're actually harmonizing with a previous guest of yours by the name of Mark Foltz.
Oh, yeah, I know Mark. I did several shows with Mark.
Yeah. He was there with us, and he was harmonized because he said the spirits told him that if we sang this chant, they would come. Well, it was really funny because he was right. We had a gentleman who was actually a deacon in a Catholic church who was filming for us. He was shooting his full spectrum camera down the hallway. We started chanting, and you can literally see what looked like the veil drop. And the minute it dropped, you saw this white smoke apparition walk out of the wall and hook a right and go down the hallway.
Mm.
But what's interesting is it actually made the man curse, which was funny to me. But what was interesting is people see that clip and they go, oh my God. But what they don't notice is to the left of the white shadow guy, at the end of the hallway where there's a wooden wall, there is about a 6 foot, maybe 6'2" or 3" dark shadow mass blob that undulates back and forth up in that hallway at the same time.
Oh my God.
So there's 2 paranormal events that happen on that show, and it's one of the reasons why I left the shows up on YouTube is because people want to see that.
Oh, I would have shown
that's the
them.
Holy Grail.
Oh my God. I could have shown that on the show tonight. but
I didn't think about telling you the truth.
Oh yeah, I could have clipped it and shown it. Everybody, Richard does have a YouTube channel. What's the name of it? Is it under Richard Ruland?
Yeah, you can just come under Richard Ruland. You'll see it there. It's called Hales Bar, the Introduction, Part 2. There's 2 parts because there was so much evidence that I had to do a 2-part show.
Wow.
The second part's the one that has the apparition. After about the 44-minute mark in the show, you'll see the apparition. Actually, you'll hear us hum, then you'll see the apparition come to the wall. It's amazing.
All right, let's see if I have this. They want me to play Go Deeper again. I don't know if I can put this in here, guys. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it back in here. It's really, really a short. How many seconds is that one? Go Deeper.
It's really not more than 4 or 5 seconds. It's not very long.
Yeah, it's 2 seconds long. All right.
Oh, then maybe something wrong with that file. Okay.
This one only says 2 seconds. All right. Okay, I'll try and play this one more time. Let me see if I can get this in here. All right, hold on. Hold on, guys. Let me work on this. Hold on. All right, let me do this. Hold on. Because if I keep looping it, then it's going to interfere with my audio broadcasting. So I have to end it as soon as it... all right, so I'm going to try and play it. Oh, thanks, Royce. That's okay, honey. All right, let me see if I can play this now. All right, I'm going to play it, guys, one more time, okay? And that's it. Hold on. Whoops. All right. This one is Go Deeper, and it's only 2 seconds. So turn your volume up. Here I go. It's out.
Oh, that's too bad.
All right, okay, so how about Help Me? This one's Help Me in Mary's Corner. Now, you have Mary's Corner, you have where are you getting, well, you have Rachel's Corner, you have Mary's Corner. Why are you naming it the rooms that, what was this building, who was living in it? Were people living in this building?
No, it was actually, like I said, it's a place where people's families, had to access across the river to get to school, even the store. So these kids have walked through the tunnels. These kids have walked through the building. They weren't allowed on the second floor control area, but they were allowed on the third floor, which was kind of a maintenance kind of area, and they were allowed to walk through the tunnels because they had to use the tunnels to get to the other side of the river. So that's what he sounds on. Now, in the one there it says Mary's Corner, Mary is the little girl that we've had actual. She said her name before, and I don't have that clip, or else I'd send it to you. But she has said her name before. The other investigations too that they've caught on audio. In Rachel's room, Rachel is a teenager.
Oh, well, let's do one at a time. Let's do one time. So I have Help Me in Mary's Corner. But, okay, so this building is huge, and there's all kinds of windows in it.
Oh, yeah.
What were they using that building for? Offices?
Well, there was offices in the building on the third floor and the second floor. Massive offices. There was executive offices. The executive offices actually had a men's and women's restrooms. The walls were marble, solid Italian marble. So they had some pretty decent offices up there for the executives. And then you had the control room, which was a pretty large operating area. And then you had the turbine area, and you had the powerhouse. So there was a lot of spacing in there. And of course, they had to generate the electricity through ductwork and tubing. And, through transistors and everything else to get it to actually go out to the land to be able to light up the community. So it was a pretty expansive building.
I couldn't find any pictures of the tunnels. I wish you had sent me a picture of one. I would have loved to have shown the viewers the tunnels.
The tunnels, I didn't have it. I have them on our videos. Because I do an actual walkthrough on the second part 2 of the Hales Bar Dam video. I actually do a walkthrough for on camera for the people that are actually watching the video, so we can kind of get an idea. And we do a pretty decent walk through the tunnels for the camera to catch on, so for people to be able to see it. Because the tunnels are, they're pitch black. If you turn off your lights, you wouldn't know where you were at. It is absolutely pitch black in the tunnels.
How did the dam get its name?
It was built to be a hydroelectric dam. It was built to use water to be able to generate electricity. That was its original purpose.
But Hales Bar?
Yeah, because the town is actually, it's Gill, Tennessee now, but it was originally called Haletown, Tennessee. So Hales came from Haletown. But Hales Bar, I'm not sure where the bar came from either, other than the fact that behind the dam where the grave sites are that come up out of the water in the low water is actually, it's what I call a sandbar. So I'm not sure if that's what has something to do with it or not. Not quite sure where the name came from other than Hales. But, Hales Bar, I have no idea. I know the name Hales from Haletown, which is what the city was actually called back then.
So you know what? What was the date? I know it was in the 20th century. What was the date this dam was built? And when was it?
It started in 19...
And when was it abandoned?
17.
When was it abandoned?
1959 is when the TVA shut it down permanently. The TVA broke out in the 40s and tried to work with it, but because of continued failures in the dam, leaks, the considerable maintenance costs were too high. And in 1959, they closed it. And they built a dam called Nickajack Dam, which is just about half a mile or so up the river. And they broke down the dam wall and just left the powerhouse and the other buildings.
Wow.
So the water flooded out from there to go to Nickajack Dam.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, they didn't remove the graves. So if you have a boat and you go anywhere near the building in low water, you're going to hit your lower unit of your engine on the tombstones.
And they have a marina there.
I'm sorry?
They have a marina there.
Yeah, on the other side of the building is a marina. Of course, it's a lot deeper water. That's why I'm assuming that the Hales Bar part was behind the building where the grave sites are, because that water there gets pretty shallow.
Wow.
Yeah. And the marina isn't a safe zone either. I've known of people that, a dear friend of mine that I trust with what he says, he woke up, he rented a cabin. Now, they have cabins floating on the water there. And he rented a cabin, and he woke up to a noise on the deck by the front door. He walks up to the front door, and there's an Indian squaw standing in the doorway of the cabin that he rented, the floating cabin that he rented.
Oh my gosh! He must have been scared. Yeah. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Well, I bet he was surprised when he saw that.
Oh, he absolutely was. He thought, they rented the place out as well to investigate it, so he's like, the building, the powerhouse, the tunnels, they're active, and even the little place they call the Regal House, which is where you can use it as command post. It's got power, it's got air conditioning, all of that. Even that's active in there. But he didn't think for a half moment that the cabin that he rented on the water would be active. And he woke up to having an Indian squaw standing right there in front of the door.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Oh, yes.
Let's play Help Me, and this is in Mary's Corner. Now, guys, these EVPs are only seconds long, so really listen, okay, and turn your volume up. All right, here we go. It was just about 5 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they heard that. Okay, okay, so the next one is, okay, this one is Help Me, and this is in the tunnel.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we can help me a lot in that building. And we tried to. I've actually crossed over a couple that were there to the light, but there are some that are just stuck.
Wow. All right, again,
Yeah.
this one is only 2 seconds long. Now so listen, turn your volume up. Here we go. I can play this one twice, but as soon as I turn it on, it's off. So go ahead. All right, so listen. I played it twice. Hopefully they heard that. And so that was in the tunnel. All right. So
I think you get one there that says, "Somebody help me."
Well, you labeled them "Help Me in the Tunnel" and then "Help Me in Mary's Corner."
Okay. I didn't know if I sent you the "Somebody help me" one. In Rachel's room.
Oh, didn't we do that one?
No.
Oh, I have that one. Okay, let's do that one.
You want me to give you the backstory first?
Okay, hold on. Yeah, they heard that. Okay, let me delete these so I don't replay them. Delete.
Well, I think this one, next one here is actually the last one that I sent you.
Hold on, honey. Help me. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and play this one, and then you can explain it to them. This one is called Mama, and it's...
Oh, yeah.
Let me see how many seconds this one is. Does it tell me? No, it's not telling me. All right, this one is Mama, and this one also you got in the tunnels. All right, so I'm going to play this, guys, so listen. I played that one twice because it was only 2 seconds long.
Right.
So want to explain that one?
Yeah, Mama again is that little girl. She's trying so desperately to find her parent. And it's again probably a child that had passed. I would assume, based on the conversations I've had in the building with people, the deceased people, that she was a little girl who was a victim of the flu epidemic, and she lost her life in a flu epidemic. And again, it's a residual energy, so there's no way to actually help her or anything. It's just a piece of her time there. It's not actually an intelligent spirit, so you can't really work with it very much. But she's just, again, it's just horrible to listen to a kid cry from Mama like that and not be impacted by it.
Yeah, that's really sad. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, then we have Mama. You have Mama 3, Rachel's room. Let me go ahead and play that, and then explain it to the viewers. Okay. All right, guys. This is another Mama, and this one is. Let me see. Rachel's room. It doesn't tell me. All right, hold on. Here we go. Okay, now you want to explain that one?
Yeah, that again is a little girl. She's actually now up in Rachel's room. She's pretty mobile. The energy for that girl's spirit's pretty mobile. She's in the tunnels. She's been captured on the second floor, where where people outside of executives weren't supposed to be. So she's actually been caught on the second floor. And this is on the third floor. This is in Rachel's room. On the third floor, which is basically the maintenance part of the building. And again, it just seems like she's on a search pattern. She goes all over the building crying, "Mommy" or "Mama." And she's also the same girl who listened to the voices that said, "Let me out." It's the same girl.
Oh. Now, I had asked you if you had gotten her name.
Yeah, that's Mary.
It's Mary. Okay.
Who
is Margaret?
Yeah, this is Mary.
You had mentioned a Margaret.
I'm sorry?
You mentioned a Margaret when I had sent you a message.
Yeah, there's another child spirit in there by the name of Margaret. simian. She sounds a little different. Margaret is actually a very intelligent spirit. We actually caught her once talking to us when we heard a dog barking. I guess somebody had a dog at the marina at the time, which is about 100 yards away from the building. And in the dead of the night, you can hear this dog barking. And we were in just, in communication with several spirits at the time. And the dog was barking. I'm like, man, that dog just needs to shut up. And you hear a little girl go, doggy, doggy. So she's actually interacting intelligently with it, or trying to. And I'm not really sure if Margaret knows she's dead. The interaction I've had with her has been pretty much like she was here. And she follows people around in the building when you're there. If you're, anybody that has like a father or a mother energy to them, they will draw her in where she's comfortable.
Do you ever, because you're so successful with your EVPs, do you have conversations with these little girls, ask them why they are still there, if they're alone, is there anybody there with them, do they come and go? Do you ask them any questions like that?
We tried to in that building. There's a couple of problems with it. There's two entities in the building, they're both male, that are kind of the gatekeepers, so to speak, and they only let you communicate with the little girls for a short while, and then they'll shut you up. And I've been told to shut up before. Stop the questions. I've been told that before by a male, and all I was doing was engaging a little girl, just trying to talk. And again, we listen to everything in real time. So as we're asking these questions, our digital recorders are recording not only my voice, but they're recording their responses. We do that on purpose. That way, if we do get something or someone that says, hey, why are you here? And they go, I died here. Well, then you can engage the conversation for as long as you can do it, and you can hear the whole entire conversation being recorded. That's why we do it. So there are a couple. I'm sorry?
Oh, no, go ahead, honey. I have a question. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So there are a couple of male spirits that kind of wrangle in the activity to a point, and then you can interact with someone else now. I mean, that's kind of how they are. So they don't let you get too close. Intellectually, they don't let you get too close to the entities that are the kids. The adults don't seem to have that kind of, being controlled about them, but they do shut up at a certain point. They don't go so far in a conversation, but if you ask them things like, how is it on the other side? Is there anything I should know? You won't get an answer.
No. Hey, I want to tell you, Richard, ask that to any spirit and you will not get an answer.
Yeah,
I tried that. I tried that many years when I was doing paranormal investigating, and as soon as I started doing that, no more communication.
Yep, they shut up.
Yep. It's weird. But now the thing is with these two male spirits that are in this location, have you asked them why they want you to stop communicating with the children?
Honestly, I've asked why, and I've gotten one response years ago that said, not your business.
Wow.
And that's kind of how we left it. And I've heard grunts and growls when I've asked those kind of questions before, but never anything really clear cut. And I'm thinking it's because the interaction of the intelligent entities of the younger children. There's a little girl that's there, that's Margaret. She's interactive, she's intelligent. But I do believe there's also a little boy in there, because I've caught a little boy once in a while on Rachel's room area. But he's a troubled soul. I mean, God bless him, he's probably one of the most troubled souls I've ever dealt with. But they only let you go so far with the kids, and then they cut you off.
That is so interesting. All right, we have another EVP. Okay, this one, Richard, I couldn't hear it, but okay. You have it labeled "Now What" on the second floor. So let me go ahead and play it, and I'll play it twice because I've got it in the program for twice, and it's very short. So you guys listen. I'm going to play it now. Now what on the second floor? Okay, you want to explain that one?
Yeah, Yeah, now what is, it's an EVP we collected. Again, we were doing the static recordings, and this was on a static recorder. We were on the second floor, what is called the control room area, where I've had my brush with what I believe to be a demon. He presents like a demon, so that's why I call him a demon. But we had, somebody had left a plastic bucket in one of the rooms, so I turned it upside down and placed a digital recorder on it in the middle of the hallway of the second floor, and we left. We went down into the tunnels and began investigating down there and filming our show. Come up about an hour and a half later, and I'm playing it back on break, and it's quiet. I mean, you can hear the birds chirping because all the windows are broken out, so you can hear the birds chirping, and then this really nasty, gravelly, almost metallic voice says, "Now what?" You know, like, I left that thing there, now what? It seems like he's telling me, it's like, okay, so what do you want me to do with this kind of thing, you know? But it's a very deep, and I fully believe it's the demon of the building. Because he sounded like that when he's whispered in my ear before. So I fully believe it's him, but that's what it is. You'll hear the birds chirp, and then you'll just hear this very deep metallic voice go, "Now what?"
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, and your last EVP, it's labeled "Somebody Help Me," and this is in Rachel's room.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Rachel.
All right.
Yeah,
now,
this is Rachel.
okay, so explain this after I play it for them. Okay,
Absolutely.
everybody. The last EVP, it's called "Somebody Help Me," and I can play that twice. Oh, that's fast. That's only 2 seconds long. That's fast.
Yeah, it's fast. What it is there was a lot of background noise that got kind of contaminated after that. There was this is during the daytime. We were just setting up, and I had set up a static recorder on the third floor in Rachel's room area because I've had a conversation with Rachel before, and I set the digital recorder on the spiral staircase that goes to the roof, right where most of the activity with her has happened before. And it's daytime, so people are still whizzing around in boats. So you'll hear the boat in the background, but then you hear her yell, "Somebody help me." And to me, it sounds residual, because I've never had that kind of conversation with anyone in that room before. But it's just the way it's being presented in audio. To me, it sounds residual. But it's, again, this is like the fourth or fifth voice. I've got somebody asking us to help them.
Wow. Very interesting. That was really awesome. Richard, I want to thank you so much for being on the show and talking to us about this haunted dam. I've never heard of it before. And so again, Richard is, let me get the book. Okay, Richard wrote this article, I guess you call it an article, in the Amazing Paranormal Encounters. It's volume 3, and it can be purchased on Amazon along with other ghost stories. Now, Richard, you are also going to be featured on TV. Can you tell the viewers?
Yeah, actually, I've been on television before. I was on Ghost Stories once, My Ghost Stories. Then I was also on the GAC episode last year. And I've been asked, my team and I have been asked to be part of True Ghost Stories, which is going to be aired hopefully soon, once we get everything finalized logistically. And what that is a show that actually is going to be really, really huge on paranormal unity, which is kind of seems to be dissipating nowadays. But it's teams from around the world that are able to present their investigations to the world. So people we have a team in Spain, we have a team in Italy, several, of course, in the United States, a couple or 3 in the UK. And so you're going to get a chance to see different teams with different methodologies and different people. And it's just, we're being asked to deliver 4 to 5 episodes for the show for season 1 and 2. So that's going to be set up for that. We also have our own show coming up on Amazon Prime starting in November.
Good luck.
We'll start filming for that.
That's awesome.
So we're going to be busy for a while.
That's awesome. I'll have to catch you. And you're on YouTube as well. Now, what are you doing with that YouTube channel? Do you have to dissolve that channel because of you being on TV?
I have to eventually. I'll have to either, make them private, or I'll have to just download them and just integrate the channels. The thing of it is that those episodes were for a different show. They were for a web series that is no longer happening. The last time we filmed for that web series was January of 2015. No, excuse me, 2015 was the last show for that web series. So that's no longer an active web series now. So I'm not too concerned about it. But I'm assuming eventually they're going to say, listen, we need you to pull that down. And until then, it's still up under Richard Ruland. So hopefully, people see a chance to enjoy some of their shows and some of the places that, that we've been here in the South. We really have never left the South for any of our shows. We're real big about, as we are with the True Ghost Story show, that we're really big about keeping things at home. Mm-hmm. And it's really designed to be places of the road less traveled. So the show really will not be of the big, crazy places you've seen on TV before. They're going to be about places you've never seen. And if you're ever in the area, you're going to go, oh, my God, I can't believe I drove by this place, and it was just on True Ghost Stories. Mm-hmm. That's what we want to deliver to the public. Plus, we work with a lot of nonprofits, places that are haunted, that are nonprofit. They're still community-based or donation-based in their buildings. We've got locations that are there for that, and we're going to pitch, that people can go ahead and donate if they want to keep the building going. So we do a lot of that as well, but we're really trying to keep ourselves within, I'd say, probably 2 to 2.5 hours from Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is where we're based.
Are you, let's see, is that where that Corpsewood Mansion used to be?
That's is it Tryon?
Is that in
Georgia?
Tennessee? Oh, in Georgia. But it's
it's in northwest Georgia, and it's really, what's that is, it's down to the ruins now, and it's almost unsafe to go through there logistically because the structure is so dilapidated. I don't even think there's a roof on any of the corners of the buildings anymore. It's all kind of over time, and nature is kind of taken over. Yeah. It's a long hike from the time you get to what would have been the entrance to it to get to it. That's out there. That's pretty close.
Wow. So you've been
But
there.
our first episode for the new show is going to be filmed right here in Chattanooga.
Wow. Will you now keep me in tune with everything, huh? You'll let me know what's happening with you and everything? I would love you to keep me informed. And
sure.
Thanks. Richard, again, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a pleasure to have you. And like you said, I've known you for a long time, and I thought I recognized your name. We used to be on the same network years ago called what was it? PTN Network.
PTN Network, yeah.
Richard, thank you.
We're showing our signs of age now in the paranormal life. You know that, right?
Well, I've been around since 2008. I've been around. I've been live broadcasting since 2009.
Yeah, mine as well. I've been doing this since 2009 as well.
Awesome. Richard, again, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it, and my best of luck to you. And just keep me informed because I love to know what's going on, okay?
Yeah, absolutely, Noreen. Thank you for the time. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Richard. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. My best wishes to Richard. He's got a lot of great things happening for him. All right, so next week I've got 3 more shows in a row and then taking a 2-week break. June 1st, Anita Joe is coming back. I don't know if you remember that show, Haunted Artifacts. These are artifacts that she inherited from her friend who was an archaeologist. And she inherited all his stuff when he died. Some of it's pretty bad. And so when we did the show I don't know how many months ago, YouTube did not record my show. So we are redoing the show, and she wants to do it. Okay? So anyway, that's what's happening on the 1st. Should be a good show. She's going to show some of her artifacts, talk about them, and talk about the hauntings and the demonic activity that's been going on since the inheritance. Then on June 8th, Kristen Lee, the owner of the Bel Air House, she is going to share her story again with me of the battles and that she is going through with the Bel Air House and what's been going on, all the updates, and trying to save the house. So she asked to be on the show, and joining us will be Dave Spinks and David Weatherly as well, talking about the latest evidence they've captured with pictures and EVPs. So that should be a good show as well. And on the 15th, I am airing a show on the Summerwood, the haunted Summerwood Mansion. You know that mansion, the one that's been on a haunting. And I'm really excited to do that show. There's a paranormal team, Kevin Malick and his wife Jennifer. They're also involved in the restoration of the Summerwood, and we're going to talk about the history, the hauntings, and the restoration of that mansion. So, and then, sorry guys, but I'm not going to be around on June 29th. We have almost front row seats to the Queen concert with Adam Lambert. I am so excited, I can't stand it. So that's what I'm doing on the 29th. And then I'll see you back again in July. So everyone, thanks so much for joining me. Let me do some fast shout outs. Again, I want to thank my mods. We would not have the wonderful chat room that we have if it wasn't for Royce and for Unique Annie, and I love them dearly. They're here with me every week. So let's do some shout outs. Para Princess Patricia, Nancy Soplavita, Veronica Flores, Caroline Wilkins, Jay Alford, hey Jay, Joanne D, Chippa Terry, Super Tiger 78, Andrew Cox, Misty Dawn, there's Royce, there's my Unique Annie, Tammy Heltzman, Superior Onion Master, oh hold on. Oh, Royce is going to kill me because he tells me what to do each time and I don't listen to him. Super Onion Master, Bethany, ATW, Kimmy Kraft. Yes, with Adam Lambert, Jay. I'm so excited. Tammy Morrison, thanks honey, I love you too. Nancy Mena, whoops. Oh my God. Okay, don't get mad at me, Royce. I'm screwing this up royally. Oh God. Starla Kelsey, Zippy Davis, AT2, Bloodsport. Hey Bloodsport, Chippa-Terry, Mr. Alloy 70, Elaine Michael. I did Super Onion Master. Susie Randall, Nancy Bolt. Anybody else want to shout out? We had a lot of people in tonight. Jimmy Cortez. Everybody, please send your love and positive thoughts to Jimmy Cortez as well as to Royce. They need your positive thoughts and prayers. They have health issues and they really need your prayers and big hugs. Rufus Torres. Anybody else? Oh gosh, we had a lot of people tonight. I did Super Tiger 78, A2 Lully, is that Lully? Charmy Vapeson-Fly. Oh, I'm terrible with names, guys. I'm so awful sorry. Pamela Bocock, Anthena Brown, Jay Groden 02, Diane Hilbert. Yes, Bethany ATW. I did a shout out. It's a 30-second delay, guys. Don't forget. Oh, John Rad. I haven't seen you for a while. Thanks, John. Yes, it's going by so fast. Anybody else want to shout out? Debbie Gale. Oh, Carl White from the UK. There he is. What time is it, honey? About 2:30 in the morning? He's there. Every show I have. And guys, I have to apologize. I forgot to send out the shout outs. I forgot. I have like over 200 shout outs and I forgot to send it out. I'll go ahead later and send out a shout out for those who missed the show. Lily Villalobos. Hi, Lily. Anybody else want to shout out? You need prayers, honey? Oh, Bethany ATW. She needs prayers. Well, so does Jimmy Cortez and my Royce. So please send your prayers to Bethany. Isn't that awful? Bethany as well. Movie Star Memories. Lori B. 307. Carl White. Go to bed, honey. Thanks for staying up for the show. Anybody else want to shout out before I go? Tommy Roberts. Oh, poor Tommy. He's had kidney problems. Tommy also needs your positive prayers. He's been sick. He hasn't been in the show for so long. Welcome, Tommy. Glad to see you in the show. Anybody else want to shout out? Okay, guys, my husband's waiting for me in the other room. Got dinner on. He's waiting for me. Zippy Davis. I'm going to go now and have dinner with my husband. And tomorrow I'm going on the USS Haunted Hornet with him tomorrow. He's got a meeting over there, and I'm going there. I don't know if I'll be able to do anything live from there. I don't know how to do my phone. I know there's a way to do my phone, but let's see. I know, Royce. I know. Royce tells me all the time how I can do the shout outs. I know, Royce. I know, honey. Thank you. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go. I did Lully Tubi. I did say hi to you, sweetheart. And Tammy Morrison. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go. Good night. Don't forget, show next week. The next 3 consecutive Thursdays, okay? Caroline Wilkins. Okay, everybody, I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you so much for being in the show tonight. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I am so looking forward to mine. And I'll see you next Thursday, okay? Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Good night.